Hey there guys, this is Michael painting War Games. This is my second take for this video. So, happy July 4th to all of you out there. Hope you have a safe holiday. I hope no one has gone to the ER, blown their hands up or anything. So, what's been going on with me? Well, I got off work and went straight to the Games Workshop store, and I demoed. Oh, I didn't demo Age of Sigmar, but it was there. There was two guys playing it. There was a couple guys playing. They weren't using the Age of Sigmar models, but they were using the rules. Very cool stuff. The Age of Sigmar models. I'll get to that right quick. I didn't really get a close look at the Chaos guys, but I will say this: the Chaos guys look like generic Chaos guys to me. There's nothing special about them. I mean, they're good, but nothing wowed me out of that line as of yet. I'm reserving judgment until I can get my personal hands on that Chaos stuff. Now, the Sigmar models, or the Sigmarines as people are calling them. I don't know what the models were that had the wings, but those were the models that I was wowed by. I was like, I want these models. I don't want the box set. I just want these models. So, it's cool. I asked the shopkeeper, I was like, hey, are they going to just sell these things individually? He's like, no, it's going to be a box set. And I was like, so they're not going to come out with just the models? No, it's just the box set. Alright, sort of puts a damper on that, because now I'm not going to buy the box set, because I don't want the rest of it. I'm going to have to go to eBay and get me the guys with wings, and I'll have to figure out what their name is. That's just the box set. What about the game? I know absolutely nothing about fantasy. And from what I had gathered, and I will say this, the guys, I didn't pay attention to Age of Sigmar, the box set. Sorry guys, I just ate dinner. There was another game going on, and it was Ogres versus, I want to say Tomb Kings, which was cool, because those guys were real chatty. And I tell you what, the guy who had the Tomb King skeletons, those damn things are so small, but yet they are so. I mean, he painted them so beautifully. I never knew how small the damn Tomb King models were. The skeletons, just regular skeletons. This guy, they're half the size of a Space Marine, from what I had looked. Or, I don't know if they're half the size, but they are definitely smaller. They're probably like the size of a guardsman. And they're skeletons that are just bone. But these things were painted beautifully. Like, I had to get down on my knees because I didn't want to interrupt the plan, and I didn't want to pick up the models. Like, dude, these things are amazing. He's like, yeah, I put a lot of work in those. And I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, I'm an infantry fanatic. So cool, with gusto for him. And I applauded him. I watched that game, and those guys were real chatty. I was like, because the shopkeeper really didn't want to tell me what Age of Sigmar was because I didn't want the box set. But, you know, he's a cool dude anyways. He did sort of help me out down the line as I was there. My impressions of the system is great. Like, I love it because it was the barrier to enter Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition was absurd. Like, you think 40K's bad? Try to get into fantasy back then. If you wanted to play Skaven, I think 50% of the models of the point cost had to be core. And clan rats are like 3 to 4 points a pop. I think base, maybe less. It might be 2 points pop. And say you're playing 2,500 points. 2,500 points I had heard was small for fantasy. So you're playing somewhere to 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 point games. That's a lot of clan rats. At 2,000 points, or at 2 points a pop, and say you're playing a 4,000 point game, each model, a clan rat, is only 2 points base. That's over. No, that's 1,000 clan rats, and that's just. I think of clan rats because they're the cheapest infantry unit in 8th edition, from what I understood. Bare bones. like 2-3 points a pop. They're absurdly cheap. They were never going to make them 1 point apiece, and if they did, God bless them. You'd have to have 2,000 damn things in a 4,000 point game. From what I had understood, it was 50% core, and it might have been 75% core for all I knew. But I thought it was 50% core, 25% lords, and this is pre-end time, so don't judge me. 25% lords and heroes, and the other 25% could come out of the rest of it. Well, special and rare. So just think about that. 4,000 points. You're playing a 4,000 point game, and just for my estimation, you need 1,000 client rats. I've seen client rats. They're small models. They're bigger than skeletons, but they're still smaller than Space Marines, and they're incredibly detailed. Oh my god, I'd have to kill someone if I had to paint 1,000 client rats. If I was just doing it for myself, I'd never get done with 1,000 client rats. I mean, I would one day. It'd probably take me 3 years, because I'd have to switch other projects because of mind-numbing paint scheme, and I'm not good with flesh tones. So yeah, I'm not going there. The only way I'd ever do a massive thing like that is if someone commissioned me and I got a lot of money out of them. Like, I don't care if they're 2 points a pop, I'm getting $20 a model. And then I will sit down all day and paint them damn things. I'll crank them out in a couple months. It's just because of the intensity of the project. Something like that. So yeah. It got off topic there. Got into a little bit of rant. So let me get back on topic. So I watched them play Age of Sigmar. It was ogres versus Tomb Kings, from what I gathered. With some high elves, or not high elf, like a wood elf character or something. And he had some blood knights. It was cool. Or skeleton knights. I don't know. They were mounted guys. It was cool. I liked seeing it. So my biggest observation, there's no points. This system could be the furthest from fantasy and 40k that there ever was. Hence why it's called Age of Sigmar. It is no longer fantasy. Sure, the fantasy models are still there. And it's just called Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Which makes me want to believe that there's going to be different ages down the line. So yes, it was impressive. I had a lot of fun just watching the game be played. Not something I can say that with. If I'm hooked just by watching the game get played, I'm in. I could never watch fantasy. Well, then I never did watch fantasy except for battle reports. But like I watched 40k. I was at this birthday party and I was hooked. Fantasy, Space Marines, it was good. So, I did end up getting to the shopkeep, and I was talking, and I was like, hey, man, what do I need next? He's like, well, what do you have? I was like, I got a box of Warriors of Chaos, just the regular guys, not Marauders, because I hate Marauders. I hate the look. I got a box of regular Chaos Warriors, got them painted up. I have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and then I've got 5 Chaos Knights, not all painted. I think 2... I have 2 definitely painted. I have a mount for the 3rd one painted. So I have 3 horses painted, 2 guys painted, and there's 5. So that means I have 2 more horses and 3 more guys to paint. He's like, well, why don't you get some Marauders? And I said, nope, not doing that. Not good. I don't care if they're $33 or $35 for 16 miles. Just don't care enough. And I was like, and I was asking the guys, and they're like, dude, you can buy whatever you want. I'm like, hold up. So, there are 4 factions. There's Destruction, Chaos, Death, and Order. The 2 big factions are Order and Chaos. The 2 lesser are Death and Destruction. Death has vampire counts, Tomb Kings. Cool. They were a faction in the end times anyways. Destruction, which is an odd mix for Destruction, because I was even sort of odd by them, was Ogres and Orcs. Okay. God bless them. Order, or that was Destruction. So now Order has all the elves, We all knew they were going into 1. The humans, so Pretonia and Empire are in there, so that's 5. Then you have Lizardmen. Woo! Awesome. So that's order. I was a little awed by Lizardmen being in order until some of the guys were talking about the fluff, and now I got it. It's cool. Chaos, chaos is chaos. I shouldn't have to say it, but I am. It's Warriors of Chaos, Demons of Chaos, and Beastmen. Because Beastmen fall in Chaos. Oh, and Skaven. Skaven are in Chaos. Which I understand that you can't have Lizardmen and you can't have lizards and rats in the same faction because they naturally lizards want to eat rats. Because I used to have snakes, so yeah. So that's cool. So you have your order, you have your chaos, you have destruction, you have death. So you basically have 3 bad sides and 1 really good side. Cool. But, you know, I like that appeal. They said, dude, you can play with whatever you want. You don't have to stick to one faction. That is my #1 loving point about this. #1 point. I love this. You can play with whatever you want. There is no point system. Now, granted, you can't use 40k models because they don't have rules for those 40k models. But whatever you want out of fantasy or Warhammer, you can play whatever you want. I'm going to say this, guys. For all you guys who play 8th edition, this is a completely radical turn. This is not the same system that you guys knew. This is nothing. I can see ETC and Swedish making a comp system somewhere down the line where they get our algorithm going or something if they're out point cost. This is not a competitive game by any means. This is, as Anthony from the Sustainable Center would say, this is a beer and pretzels game. A game normally takes about an hour, hour and a half. Done. I heard fantasy games used to take like 3 or 4 hours. 40k games are right in that league, but I'm not getting in a 40k because you all know my opinion. I love Blood Angels in my 40k. So, with that said, I have been wanting to buy models. I have been in a rut. I haven't bought anything since I bought the Tactical Squad that I've been slowly, methodically converting over into Stern Guard just by painting them because I'm putting so much detail into these guys. I'm making their bolters colors. I added the 5 guys. I had 5 guys done, and then I decided I was going to add a color to the backpack, and then I have to go back and do the rest now. So this is a grind. I'm really wanting to get off the Stern Guard. So I did buy something, and he's like, dude, buy something you've always wanted. Buy something you've always wanted to paint. Because myself, I am a painter and model, or a hobbyist first. I am a player second. So, with that said, I have always wanted these. I have always wanted to paint these things. I just didn't want to buy them and paint them and put them on a shelf or put them on eBay. What is this? High Elf Dragon Princes of Kaldor. I love the mounts. I just love how the mounts look. They have like dragon heads on the horses and shit. Awesome sauce. So yeah. Got that. You know, not a bad buy. I got a text message. So I bought 2 paints yesterday because I was up there and I was like, oh, I got it. I figured he'd have the Age of Sigmar shit out. I begged him to bring it out. He wouldn't let me because I didn't. He's like, oh, I can't do it till tomorrow. Whatever. And I really didn't want to go buy it today, but I did. And I was like, screw this. I'm gonna go look at this. So yesterday I got Sotec green. This will be the color for the backpacks on the Stern Guard. I'll show you the one guy. I'll just show you the backpack. It's going to be that color for the backpack. Let's see. There you guys go. Yeah, it's because I had it all silver, so now I'm just doing that green color. Or the Sotec green. I bought Fenris Gray, or Fenrain Gray. I bought this because I'm going to go back to the Tactical Squad or the squads once I strip off that nasty paint off the other one. And I'm going to paint this on the bolters because I want the bolters to be not just silver. So I got those yesterday. What I got today, and I don't know why I bought the first color, because I have flat green from Vallejo model color here. I might not end up using it, but I have it, and I don't know why I bought this color. Caliban green, the base Caliban green, not bad. I don't have it, but now I do, and it's like, I'm like, why did I buy that? I have flat green from Vallejo sitting right here. Yes, I have flat green, and it's dark enough. It's lighter than Caliban, but whatever. It's a base color. And then I've got Caliblite, or yeah, Calite green. So, the reason why I got the greens, the two greens today, is because I don't want to paint red. I am so done with red with Blood Angels right now. I feel like I want to gouge my eyes out with red. So, and then naturally these guys have a lot of blue in them. And I was like, I really don't want to paint blue for some unknown reason. Those who know me best know I love the color blue. Blue is my favorite color. So yes, blue is the favorite color I like on me. Different color for women. Not going to get into that. That's another discussion for another day. But yeah, I decided I was going to go green for like the armor bits on the horses and the riders on the Dragon Princes of Kaldor. I have not opened this box yet. I'm really tempted to. I have my blade here that I'm going to start hobbying out here as soon as I get done with this video. But yeah, I am thoroughly impressed with the system. You know, it's allowing me to buy models that I've always wanted, and I've always wanted to own and always wanted to paint, and it's painting first for me. Blood Angels was a mixture of both. I figured learning how to play 7th edition, I need to get a Space Marine army and learn that way. So that was my entry for that, and I'm cool with that. I'm glad that fantasy has, or Warhammer has turned into this game. Fantasy has turned into this game. It's going to piss off every competitive player on the face of the earth. I don't think one of them is going to enjoy it because they're used to doing this chess game-ish maneuver type thingy. I've always liked War Machine and Hordes, because it's a skirmish game. It's just the competitive market, or the competitive side here in St. Louis is just huge. You can't break into it. It's not a chance. So yes, I'm staying away from those models, or that line, because I'm not doing Legion of Everblade a third time. God help me. Even though I love them damn models and I want the Archangel model, something fierce, I'm not willing to spend $125 on a model I'm going to paint and just sit on my damn shelf and never use. So yeah, on Thursday, I believe that's my off day. Yeah. I'm gonna go up to the shop and I'm gonna learn how to play Age of Sigmar. I'm gonna download the rules. I guess I gotta download the rules for Warriors of Chaos and High Elves because I'm gonna have the Dragon Princes of Kaldor, ready. I'm gonna have them built and ready by then because I'm off Tuesday, so I'm gonna crank out a bunch of that crap then. So yeah, but naturally, Games Workshop's not open on Tuesday in my area, so yeah, cool. So, all right, guys. This is what I'm doing. I give a thumbs up to Age of Sigmar. It is definitely a way to get into it. I had to ask the tough question about fantasy, and I said, "Look, dude. So I heard, and this is just from hearsay, that the entire Space Marine line, or the Space Marine line alone, out of 40K, sells more than the entire fantasy line." And the guys looked at me, and he's like, "Dude, I got something better for you. It's worse than that." I was like, "What?" He's like, "For the last 6 years, this goes back 6 years, the paint line, and this is before the brand new paints, this paint line sold more and was more profitable than the entire fantasy line. The paints sold more. They were more profitable than the entire fantasy line. That says something to me. And from what I had gathered, yes, 8th edition fantasy, old school fantasy players were were this tight niche group. It was a group that was really hard to get into. They had a lot of stuff, and they didn't want to buy anymore. None of them wanted to buy new armies. They always went secondhand on their armies. They didn't want to buy brand new stuff. So, Age of Sigmar sort of remedies that. They're like, fine, you guys don't want to buy new stuff. You guys only want to buy cherry-picking models. Here you go. You want this, you want this, you want this. We're going to appeal to everyone now. We're going to appeal to the guys that have been wanting to play this game for the longest damn time, but can't get into it because you guys scare them off. Or because the barrier to entry is too high, I can sell them one box set and they can play. Done. I mean, that's effectively it. They had to take this super radical approach, or they had to kill off the game. They effectively did both. They killed off the game and they made a new game. They could have said it at the end of End Times, be like, look guys, End Times here, we're going to kill it off, we're going to try something new. You got to take a drink of water because this turned into a rant. But yeah, I get why Games Workshop did this. And I completely understand why. I'm not opposed to it. I like it. You can legitimately play with anything you want. You want destruction and order, you want death and chaos, you want order and death, or order and chaos. How I'm going to do it, I'm going to just start cherry pick models that I like. I'm going to have a little bit of everything. I got a feeling of sooner or later. I'm going to have a little bit of every line. Like the Orcs, have that giant fuck off spider. I like that model. I'm going to buy that one day. The High Elves and the Dark Elves have dragons. Like that. What else? They have that tree folk big guy. Actually, High Elves have that stupid Frost Phoenix. I want that more than their dragon. Demons, man, they got the Bloodthirster, but I can't imagine dropping $115 plus on a model. Ogres, I imagine there's something in Ogres that I want. Like, I just haven't looked at the line. Skaven, there's something there that I want. I know there is. The Vampire Counts. Oh, they got models in that line I want. I want their mounts. I want their knights, their blood knights, but I'm not willing to pay $100 for fucking 5 of them. They bring that shit down and maybe we'll make a deal with them. But they got that stupid vampire dragon. I'm a big fan of dragon, guys. I love dragons. But in short, I have fell in love with Age of Sigmar, and I haven't even played the damn game. I can buy what I want. I can play with what I want. You guys, they say you can bring your entire collection, and you guys just sort of say, hey, this is what I want to play with, and the other guy's like, okay, I'll bring this. I'll figure out the rules. I'm going to stay with the same style that I'm going to play with what's painted, except for while I'm learning the game, but, that's another thing. So, alright guys, I'm Michael of Painted War Games. I'm off to go build and assemble these guys, and to get them ready for paint. So I'll see you guys next time. And as always, keep gaming and enjoy the coming months.